of you are using Twitter? Some? I got to figure this thing out. Because one of the things, I've got an MBA, I was a PhD in biology, he's an adjunct professor here at UConn, really good guy. And he's trying to get over into the green environmental industry and whatnot. And I was at a conference earlier in the summer, and they said, I talked with other folks in the MBA world, and they said, the only place you can find those really good paying economy, ecology type jobs, which would be a good fit for this fellow, is in the Twitterverse. Tweet my jobs is a job posting system. One of the other things I learned, and this gets into following companies, following groups, those kind of things, a lot of recruiters are actually the face behind their company's Twitter accounts. So when you start engaging a company in a Twitter back and forth, I'm really interested in this, what's going on in this space for your company, what do you think about this, have you ever, you begin to go back and forth. Recruiters love that kind of stuff because they see you being very engaged. So it's about being thoughtful and about being strategic. Don't join every group, but join the ones that make sense. Post discussions on groups, get recommendations, we kind of talked about that. Use your network. I mean that in a good way. Share, it's not just about you. Again, it's that point of when you're reaching out to people, if you make the connections, is there anything I can do for you? Is there any help that I can offer? Here's what I need. Could you help me doing this? That's the purpose of connecting with people and networking. Now, ultimately, so I'm going to shift the job in a certain mode again. The idea and what I would challenge each and every one of you to do is to begin thinking about what are the kind of roles, what are the kinds of organizations, or the companies that you want to begin to follow and are attracted to, and for what reason. Begin to do those kind of things now. Begin to reach out to people now. Begin to have conversations with people now. Because whenever you graduate, I want you to think of that end time. And wouldn't it be really nice is when you graduate, you have a really cool opportunity in hand. So start laying the groundwork now. And this happens all the time. I deal with this with the MBAs all the time. They kind of get behind the curve a little bit. And they're coming up on graduation. They don't have a job yet. I said, well, what company are you talking to? Who are you talking with in those companies? I'm just responding to job postings. Go talk with people, build a cohort of connections inside those companies you're interested in now. So that when the opportunity presents itself 6 months down the road, a year down the road, they already know you. And you've got people inside the organization who can advocate for you. That makes a huge difference in the job market. Think about two equally qualified candidates coming after the same job. And there are 4, 5, or 6 people in that company that know you, and nobody knows this person over here. The balance is tipped in your favor because you got people speaking on your behalf. You still have to be able to do the job. Knowledge, skill, and ability is critically important. That notion of how well will you fit into our work culture, our environment, and ultimately the hiring manager, do they like you? That's critically important. Oh, the alumni database, I'm going to hold that until I actually show you what it is. It's very cool. Update regularly. Which means, now regularly, it's one of those things where you kind of go, you don't want to do too much. Because as you're building your profile, as all of you are going to go in and begin to do more work on your LinkedIn profile, if you leave your update status as open, every single change you make and save is going to send out a message to your network. And let me tell you, I know when people are working on their profile, they go, damn it, there's another one. I got another one 5 minutes later. Here comes another one. Shut off your broadcast. Because until you're ready. Then you turn it back on. And every time you do something, people will come. Add content. This is slowly rolling out. It may be, I think it's a lot more robust now. When I first learned about this, probably 6 months ago, probably less than 10% of LinkedIn users had this capability, but I think a lot of people do now. In your profile, if you wanted to, you could publish, if you have a PowerPoint, a PDF, a Word document, an Excel spreadsheet, whatever, your resume, you can actually publish it in LinkedIn. And it gives people just an image, people can click on it. So if you produce a paper that you're really proud of that you've published, you can pop it right in there. So it's really cool stuff as well. And again, what you're doing is you're creating the whole image of who you are. Your name, keywords, UConn School of Engineering, your profile or summary, key skills, your experiences. When you get to the experience section, see, we've already jumped up to 15. I forgot to talk about this. When you begin to populate the professional experience space, yeah, it's really nice to go, here's my job, this is what I did, my title. Here's the company, here's the title, here's the period of time I was there. But 3 or 4 bullets about what you accomplished is much more powerful than a paragraph around your job description. Because to be honest with you, as a hiring manager, because I used to be one, I didn't care about your job description. What I cared about is what did you do. The reason being, I always want you to write your resume, I want you to write your cover letters, I want you to write your profile from the reader's point of view. And in job search mode, which is what LinkedIn is really very helpful with, in job search mode, you got to put yourself in the mindset of the reader. The reader is often a recruiter who's been charged with finding people who can do certain kinds of work. And the reason they've got that work is because it's not getting done. That hiring manager, who ultimately you would report to, has a problem. There's work that needs to get done, it's not getting done. Can you do that work? Will you fit in the organization? I've got a team of people. And will you fit in with my team? And ultimately, when we get to a conversation called an interview, do I like you? Because let me tell you again, I've hired people before. I've fired people before. It's not a pleasant situation, but it's the right thing to do. And when I hire people, I pay attention to them. I'll share, I don't know if I've ever, sometimes I don't know which audiences I'm speaking to, but let me share a story with you about hiring. I was running an IT shop, and I had probably about 30 people in the organization. And these are all programmer, analysts, techie type folks. And this was a period of time that our floor space was set up, so it's fairly wide open. I had an office against the windows, and had some dividers and whatnot. It's still fairly wide open. I needed a new senior level programmer, analyst, IT specialist. This guy says, hey Bob, I'm interested in talking to you about the job. I said, Peter, come on in. Love to talk to you about it. Because I knew Peter for years. And I knew Peter could do this job with his eyes closed. High quality, very efficient, very effective. I could give him this body work and I wouldn't have to worry about it. Let me tell you how happy that makes me feel as a hiring manager. Comes to the office, we chat for about an hour. I said, okay, well, the posting is just up, so it's going to take a while to get other postings and whatnot. He leaves. No sooner do the elevator doors close on him than my entire staff has surrounded me in my office. And I looked up and said, what's up? And they said, you're not going to hire that guy, are you? And I said, not now. Tell me more. They said, well, we interact with him in our downstream feeds. And he is one, I'll just edit it because of the video. They did not like him. I said, okay, no, not hiring. So what I ended up doing is I went back and the next day I said, let's grab a cup of coffee. He said, Peter, not going to hire you. And here's why. Now, how does it look different? They didn't want to guys feel it. I said, but for you to succeed in this culture, in this organization, and go beyond your current role, you got to figure out this interpersonal thing. He said, I'm happy to coach you. He said, thanks, Bob. Nobody's ever shared that with me, but let me think about it and I'll get back. I said, great. They will meet for coffee, once a week. Let's think. Called me back the next day and said, nah, not interested. Thanks anyway. Okay, good luck. I don't think he lasted another year before, because of personalities and whatnot, he ended up leaving. So likability is important. So think about how you want to present yourself. And one of the neat ways of doing that is content. You can do that in the internet and stuff. Again, this is my note. You have it on your handout. This is about, because you're probably going to go in and make a lot of changes to your profile right now, turn off your activity. Because when you leave that on, every update you do is going to send out a notice to your network. How many people have 100 connections on your LinkedIn profile? How many have 200? How many have 300? How many have more than 800? Just, okay. But that's my point. See, the neat thing about my 800, and I don't remember how many 800 plus, I know all these people. And I know all these people because I'm very extroverted, right? Exactly. So, be thoughtful about it. It's not numbers. It's not a numbers game. It's a connecting game. Who are you connecting with? Why are you connecting with them? What's the purpose? Are you ready to get into a conversation with them? Because that's how you play this. That's critically important. For you to keep going in your career to post-UConn, you got to begin to reach out and connect with people. And now is better than later. Right, so I think that's it for this. Questions, comments, concerns, statements, fact, fiction. This down. Again, you guys don't really need the PowerPoint. You're welcome to it if you like. But it's just a handout I gave you. All right, so here's my homepage. You see this kind of interesting information. Things that are going on today. People I might know. Ads. Here's my ads. Would you like to make Internet Explorer your default browser? So remember I told you about data. It says, look at that, 14 people that viewed my profile has been viewed by 14 people in the past 7 days. Now I won't get to see all 14 people, but when you click on it, you can go, because I have the free version. If you decide you want to pay $30 a month or $50 a month, I'm not going to pay $30 or $50 a month. I'd rather have that in my pocket. But you can begin to see who some of the people are that look at your profile. How often people view 218 times. You can see trends. I don't understand this one. How many times you appeared in LinkedIn search, so 1,237 times, but that's a drop. So in the previous weeks, there have been more identification. People have looked at my profile. It's come up in searches. So one of the things that happens is I look at Catherine Carr and I go, who are you? I don't know her. You see how it says number 2? LinkedIn has a numbering system. If you are connected to the person, you'll see number 1 there. If somebody you're connected with is connected to somebody else, you'll see 2. If somebody in my network is connected to that person's network, then you'll see a 3. If there's no connection whatsoever, you'll see a blank. So you look at Catherine, you go, oh, well that's a 2. I wonder who I'm connected with. So I click on her profile, and she's a VP, Investment Company Services, Command Financial Press. There's a sum. And so again, data. I'm looking at data. Should have a pointer here. 94 connections. Not a lot. Not very active, but maybe she's just starting. I look at the URL. Look at it. Christine-car-1A-403-B-00-. Okay, doesn't have a lot of the insight on how to manage LinkedIn. So I'm looking at data, looking at information. The other thing I begin to look at, it says she's a 2. So I go, who am I connected with? That's connected to her. Oh, Tara. I know Tara. So it'd be one of those things that if I went, hey, Tara, I'd really like to connect to this person, or I can connect directly to her and say, I see that we have a common friend, Tara. Please accept my invitation. Let me know if I can be of help. Would love to have a conversation. Thank you. Now, again, a little bit like Twitter, invitations in LinkedIn have a limited number of characters. So you got to work on it a little bit to get it clean and crisp and concise, but you can do that. Okay? I think it may be like, say something like 250 characters, so it's a fair amount, but still have to be very concise. So then I can go back to my home page. Actually, what I'll do is I'll show you. Need a mouse. So you want to be thoughtful about what email address you use in setting up your profile, because if you change it, you lose all the past history for that email address. So if you just in the process of building, use your UConn email address or Gmail is what most people do. Let me show you my profile. I'm not suggesting mine is the best, the be-all or end-all of profiles, but I like it. And just like with a resume, I want you to be happy with your profile as well. So you can see there's my summary. So you can see, there's activity. I just connected with Bob Tessini, and this is the Vice President of Hartford. Peter McDonald endorsed the skilled career counseling. Here's my summary. Fairly reasonably robust, just some white spacing, so it's easy to scan through. You'll notice that what comes next for me, skills and expertise. Again, here's one of those things where I look at, what's clustering near the top. So you can see for me, career counseling, resume writing, leadership development, job search, Myers-Briggs training. And if you wanted to, if you were looking at this, you could hover over each one of those pictures of these people that have endorsed me, and you can go and click on their profiles as well. So again, what I look for is what's clustering near the top, and is that a good reflection of your capabilities? That's what you want to see. And you can see a little bit further down, I have others. You can see where it says C14 others? I suspect that's where conflict management is sitting right now. I'll just leave it there. I'm keeping an eye on it, that it doesn't creep too far. But you can see, here's my, my experience, all this kind of recommendation to Harvard and all this kind of stuff, certifications I got, education, recommendations, companies I'm following, people I'm connected with, groups following, that kind of stuff. Oh look, there's Reid Hoffman. I'm going to jump to Reid. If I can. Remember, he's the founder of LinkedIn. So Reid Hoffman, he does have a great tagline. Entrepreneur, product strategist, investor. You know a lot about Reid Hoffman just by that tagline. I love taglines because what's happening is people are scanning. Do you know how much time do you think when you send a resume and some recruiter looks at it, how much time do you think you actually have in front of that recruiter? Yeah, 5 to 10 seconds somewhere. Like, wait, I've worked days, weeks, months to get a really good, robust resume, and they're spending less than 10 seconds. Yeah, they're spending less than 10 seconds. So the key points right up at the top, use them wisely. So Reid Hoffman, if I'm looking for somebody who's an investor, I'm going to look at this. This is the part where his profile drives me nuts. Nice summary. Plain, crisp, concise. He's got this embedded visual summary called Startup with You. He wrote a little book that he hands out to people about how you pay attention to yourself in terms of managing your careers going forward. You can click on that if you want to. Partner, Greylock, Executive Chairman, Co-founder of LinkedIn, Board Observer. Look at all the stuff he's doing, done, been involved in. There you go. Nobody's going to read all that. I'm not going to read all that. But look, it keeps on going and going and going and going and going, and it's not until you get way down here that you find the skills. For me, I wouldn't go there except I happen to know who Reid Hoffman is. So make it easy for people to find out critical information about you. That's why I recommend doing that skill set and expertise up near the top. Now, the other thing I want to show you. Again, I recommend finding people, looking at lots of different profiles, find a profile you like, put your content in for it, and pay attention to the data over time. Network, it'll show you my contacts, and when I add a contact, see that piece down that says find alumni? This is very cool. Now it comes up based upon your profile. So the last thing I did in terms of education was with the University of Connecticut School of Business in 1999. So that's why it comes up preloaded. UConn School of Business, 1999 to 1999. So what I recommend is you go into here and you drop down the attended date. I don't know why I picked 1980, I just like 1980. The reason I picked 1980, see, it does a refresh. If somebody is out in LinkedIn and they graduated from the UConn School of Business in 1980, how many years ago is that? That's 33 years ago. If they're still in LinkedIn land, there's a high probability they're successful. And if they're in a space that I want to play in, that I want to work in, if they're a company that I want to be involved with, there's a reasonable probability that I can get them to accept a nicely worded invitation because we both come from UConn School of Business. In your case, UConn School of Engineering. Find the common language. Now, what you notice, I'm going to expand this C more. Oops, you can see where they live, where they work, what they do, what they study, what they're skilled at, how we work connected. So you can see back on the home page here, there are 3,800, oh wait, also expand. We graduated in 2013, so it refreshes. There are 9,100 UConn School of Business alumni in LinkedIn. There's a reasonable probability I can find 4, 5, or 100 people to accept an invitation and help me get into a conversation. But the neat thing is you can begin to now granularize this and say, well, where do I want to work? I'd like to work in the greater Boston area. So you click on Boston, and what it does, it shows you the people down below who are UConn School of Business alum in the Boston area. You notice the gray in area? See, there's Megan. It says very shaded 02. You know, she graduated from the School of Business in 02. You go, okay, well, there's Neil. Oh, 92. Neil, retail consultant. I really like to find out more about Neil. So what you can do, you can click over here on Neil. Now you notice it says free next note. So it says somebody in my network is connected to somebody in his network, which makes it very hard to connect. But I want to view his full profile. I said, oh, no. So a couple of things that are interesting. 125 connections. So moderate user, maybe not really robust, but doing okay with it. Again, boy, I'd really like to see Neil's full detail because he's currently working at Christmas tree shops, and I really like Christmas tree shops. But I don't want to upgrade my account. This is where I can. Everybody raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I will not tell LinkedIn this secret. I'm serious. I want to hear this, folks. Here's what you do. I drive my son David crazy because he knows I'm showing people this little trick. See this little drop down arrow? Send Neil to me. I want to share his profile. David. Here's my son. I'm David Doherty. He's going to say he's going to be in. Who put this machine in here? Oh wait, I think you bought that goddamn outfit. And then I don't even bother to send. What I do is I tell David, hey, David, you're going to get some of these things, just ignore them. Send a message. Say, well, I still can't see it. Now what you do is you go into your inbox. You go to the sent folder. Message I just sent David. Click on the message. View profile. Oh look, there's the whole profile. That's why I said don't spill the beans on this. I love this hidden feature here. So I can find out more about Neil. I got his last name. I know he was at the UConn School of Business. When was he there? MBA manager, 1992, so not only is he UConn School of Business, but he's an MBA. So now I could shoot him an invitation. I've got the common link at UConn School of Business MBA program. I'm currently working with full-time MBAs. Please accept my invitation. Let me know if you're available for a conversation. How cool is that? Yes?
So does this person know you shared his contact?
No.
Okay.
No, he doesn't. Now Neil, well, he's got 125 connections, so he's a what I would call a moderate user. When next time he goes in, remember when I went to my home page, people would view you, he's going to see Bob Holt, MBA program manager, UConn School of Business. Now, what's this guy looking like profile? Sometimes what happens is people go, oh, Bob Holt, MBA program manager. You know, I love it when you do for a while. I'd love to give back. I get an invitation. Hey, Bob, I saw you were looking at my profile. Please accept my invitation. Love to come back on campus. Let me know what I want. Accept? Sure. Here's my contact. So that's how to use this stuff. So I've thrown a ton of information at you. What are your questions, comments, concerns? Yes?
Can you do the same thing but send the email to like another account of yours? You don't have to bother.
No, that's a good question. I haven't tried that. You have to be careful if you have multiple accounts. LinkedIn looks at that and they go, you seem to have two accounts, why use two accounts, kind of thing. You probably could. I don't see why not. Just be careful. But usually what I do is I set my son, I drive my son to the email.
That are LinkedIn profile that you send it to, not regular email address.
Right, right. Yes.
I've been contacted on LinkedIn via kind of almost like third-party headhunters,
Yeah.
and it almost feels like spam, but
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not really sure how to engage with them. Sometimes they do have actual legitimate jobs,
Right.
but I'd rather almost be, it would feel more legitimate
Right.
to the actual company rather than kind of like independent headhunters. Like, how do you suggest we do?
Well, actually, there are three different types of recruiters that I was talking about. One is the company hired, they are employed by the company to find people to fill jobs, so their loyalty is to the company. Then there are the senior executive headhunters who are hired by a company on a contingent basis. Go find me people that can fill this, this very senior level, big 6, 7-figure jobs. You generally don't see those; they reach out to you. And then there are the headhunters, those people who make a living by helping people find jobs. Golden rule: never pay anybody to be a headhunter. They always get paid by the company that hires you. Okay, if somebody says, if you pay me X amount of money, I'll help you get a job. Hang up on them. Okay. Now, in those, it's hard to tell though. LinkedIn invitation. My suggestion would be, if you were, look at their profile. See if there's some kind of level of interest, something that makes sense. Accept the invitation. Get into a conversation. I always want you to ask the question: where's your greatest strength? What companies you have your strongest relationships with? Where have you last placed people? What's that been like? How long does it take? Ask all those good questions. And if you don't like the answers, delete them out of your network. Easy enough to do. Go into networks, go click on the name, go to the people. Other questions? Yes.
How do you move up your expertise to the after your profile?
Oh. You have to go into edit mode. So you go up to your profile. You go to edit profile. And in this space, what you end up doing is right here. You can either add by editing, or actually you can move the mouse right over, hold the mouse, the left mouse down, just drag it right up. So it's a click, hold, and drag. Always very easy. Yes.
How do you hide, like your updates?
Oh, good question. I believe that is done through over here. You see, you're going to hover over your report thing, and privacy and settings is where you're going to go. It's in privacy where it says turn off your activity broadcast, right about in the middle of the screen. Privacy, just click on that and get that off button. And then when you're done, you got a really robust profile, everything about it. Go back in there and turn it back. What else? Yes.
Things change quite rapidly, especially in the past few years in terms of social networking. I remember when a few years ago, Facebook was more professional.
Yeah.
When people that didn't join the ones like Oracle or the ones before joined Facebook and used it for other stuff. Recently, it's turned into a place where people post cat videos, mean comments. So how do you see the future of LinkedIn?
LinkedIn is growing exponentially. It is the place to be right now. You have Google Plus out there, you have Twitter, you have Pinterest, you got all these other social media aspects. And part of what people are looking at is how robust do you play in the social media space, if that's important to your career. LinkedIn, I got an email, I'm sure it was just a broadcast email from Reid Hoffman, probably about, I'm guessing 5 years ago, that I was one of the first 1 million users of that. I thought that was cool. I still have that email. Thinking about printing it on frame and putting it in my office. Well, now I forget the number. 750 million plus people using LinkedIn around the world. It is the single most robust search engine right now for helping you get into a conversation. That's the goal, that's the purpose of it, right? Find people, connect people, get into a conversation. That's the goal. And I don't see it slowing down anytime soon. Now, there's going to be some competitors, Google